Hello. So this is a Shiny dashboard which I have developed using R and R Shiny. The dashboard can be accessed using this web link, and the data set that I have used for this dashboard is the online chess game, which is a data set for the chess games played on chess.com, and the data set that I have contains almost 15 to 17 different variables, out of which some are game ID, rated turns, the number of turns it took in a game to over, and the victory status, winner, whether the winner was the player who was playing with the white color or the black color, and the time increments. And there are various other variables as well, including black rating, white rating, and the detail about the opening move, the number of opening turns, and the opening short name, opening full name. And this dashboard, so this is an introduction page that contains the details about the variables. So there are around 11 categorical variables and 6 ordinal variables, including game ID, turns, and up to opening moves. And this dashboard contains various plots. Although the majority of the plots is the histogram plots, we have one interactive plots in this section, and the last section contains the summary of an individual player. So going turns one by one, we have the this in this tab we can visualize the number of turns in the game on the basis of the data set that we have. So we can choose one factor by factor. Selecting the factor game tab, the default will be to visualize all the factors at once, which is rated and non-rated. Using this drop down, we can also choose whether we want to visualize only the non-rated games or the rated games. And using the slider, we can also change the number of wins in the histogram that we want to visualize. And similarly, we have for other factors, victory status and winner. In this, we have the side-by-side histogram bars. And again, we can choose the sub-factor. We want to visualize only one or all at a time. And in the victory status, we have the overlapping histograms rather than side-by-side histogram as we had in the winner section. Going to the next section, we have ratings visualization, where we can visualize the individual ratings. Selecting the tabs, black and white ratings, we can visualize the same thing for different players in all the games. Selecting the factor, we have two factors, game time and victory status. Here also we can visualize all at once or individual sub factors at once, and we can see the respective histogram here. And again, we have the slider to change the number of wins in the histogram. Going to the next tab, we can visualize the relation between two variables. By default, the variable for the x-axis will be the black rating, and the variable for the y-axis will be white rating, and the factor for the plot will be the winner. Default factor will be the winner, and we can change using the drop-down menu. And this will take a while to load because it's a histogram. It's a interactive plot, scatter plot, and because of the data set we have chosen, there are 1,000 of rows in that data set. So now we have the scatter plot. This is an interactive scatter plot, and we can do all the things that we do with the usual interactive plot, which is zoom in, zoom out, and we can also box select or lasso select and do everything that we can with the usual scatter plot. And we can also change the variables for x and y axis using these drop down, and also choose the factor using this drop down. And by default, the factor is winner, as we can see on this plot. Going to the last tab, we have the individual player stats, which will show the summary for an individual player, including the number of games that player played, and the number of the time format or the color format of the games, and the summary about summary about the victory status of the games that the player played, and different stats, including the number of turns, the opening moves, the player ratings, and also the information about the opponent users and the opening style that a player played with. So by default, it is selected Daniel like chess. So this is the user ID of a player, and we can see the summary of this player. This player played 8 games, and out of which one he played 2 games with the time format of 10 plus 0, and average number of opening moves in all the 8 games was 5, and the maximum number of opening moves was 10. And the opponent users user IDs were 1 to 8, these 8 IDs, and the opponent with user ID MIRCO25 had a rating of 1209, while the opponent with user ID of SOULTEGO had a rating of 2108. And these were the 8 opening styles in all the 8 games.